What's up, guys? Blake Rodriguez here with Dream Come True Canine. For those of you that are following this or watching this replay, remember you can tap the screen for the hearts. That's really what we love, what we really hope that you guys provide for us throughout this scope for this free content in exchange. I think it's a really fair deal. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Blake Rodriguez with Dream Come True Canine. I have a 2-floor training facility in New York City, Manhattan. I do travel the country and internationally for my work, but I am based in New York City, Manhattan. What we are going to do today is we're going to work with my boy Timu. Timu is, for those of you that follow our Facebook page, our Instagram page, he's the big guy that recently came in for dog and human aggression. Only 5% on the phone, good. I think this is going to be a short one. I think you're going to be able to make it. So I'll show you what we have going on right now. The screen. We have Samson over here, we have Nino over here, we have Andrew here, Dizzy the Wolf, and then we have Soko here. We're gonna be using this placemat. Well then Mom's coming second, so where we do it, yeah. So this is a big deal because Timu is here for dog aggression and human aggression, and he's also a dog that was eating before, all right? He wasn't eating, he didn't really like taking direction. You know, there's a couple things. So what we're trying to get out of him is we're trying to do a lot of things at once. He's starting to understand the concept of place. He's starting to understand that meals don't come for free and just everything in life doesn't come for free. There's choices that he makes or doesn't make that are directly related to what he gets and doesn't get in life, right? So he's starting to learn to focus, work, get through some anxiety and fear, insecurity, which is resulting in his aggression. And we're having him do this while he is learning to really be enthusiastic and actually enjoy working for his food. So we're keeping it simple. We're just utilizing place. Flip this over so you can see what we have here. And I'm going to sit him. And we're going to try to get this guy moving a little bit here in a second. Hey, stop. Good. So we're going to see this. Got my man Big Timu. This is the placemat we're going to use. Timu, place. Yes, good job, buddy. Come on, buddy. And just having him take direction and going through these other dogs are pretty important. I'm gonna have him eat this. Come here, bud, let's go. I want him stopping before I place him. Yeah, he's a big guy for sure. Now you see we got that tail wagging, that's really, really good. Place. Yes, good boy. Oh, there's my guy. I wanna get him really, really moving, really having fun, getting him to have these experiences around these guys. Once we get this really, really good, we're gonna introduce him to the remote collar so he can proof it. Come here, bud. Sit. Good boy. And this is a very different demeanor that we're getting out of him. We didn't have this before. We had a very growly, you know, unsure command. My release command is yes. Timu, please. Nope. So interrupt there. I was gonna step on the leash. I'm gonna walk away. Good. Teaching him a couple of different things, taking direction, learning to ignore, like a dog like Nino and a dog like my guy who's just hanging out. Let him finish that. Yes. And he, oh, good boy. He's starting to learn his yes marker. He's starting to enjoy taking food. Let's go, bud. Try to get him on here a little bit more happy. Timu. Please. Yes, that's what I want to see. Yes, good boy. Oh, good job. Good job. So you see we're getting a different dog because he's starting to figure it out, right? You guys got to be hearting the crap out of this. Heart, heart, heart. Check this out. A little bit of an itch. I can tell you right now, if for those of you that have ever seen the movie The Sandlot, if the Sandlot dog was a pit bull, it would be this guy here, for sure. I'll let him get through that. Come on, bud. Let's go. Sit. Good. Timu, place. Nope. So that's why I should have it. Look, he's still trying. I'm going to guide him. So the thing is, he's not getting the food. So that's enough of a punisher for right now as he's still learning. Good. You know what I mean? He didn't get that food. He knows to stay on. We don't have to tell him stay. That's implied. Good. If I want to go ahead and sit him, I'm going to go ahead and do that in a second when he's finished. Timo, sit. Good boy, bud. Nope, almost. I saw you going down. There we go. Good. Good. Yes. Good job, buddy. Good job. So he's learning this. We're going to end this here in a second. I want to get one more kind of awesome place out of him. Look at him ignoring all these dogs. Come here, buddy. Come on. Got the itchers. Come here. Sit. I'll do a short little Q&A after this in a second with you guys. Timo, place. Good. Try to get him on this one here in a second after he finishes that. Timo, let's go. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Place. Nope. See, he didn't know this one, so I had to help him a little bit. I actually don't like the way that he turned that way. So we're gonna turn this around. Sit. Good. Timo, place. I'm gonna turn it this way. There we go. Good. Good job. Down. Help him out here. Down. You know this, buddy. So now, hey, let's go. Down. Good. I'm actually gonna have him do that again. Come here. Oh, you're such a big boy. Come on. Place. Good. Good. Down. It's not playtime. So we're starting to see a different dog, which is good. It's a good stuff. He's gonna hang out there for a little, and just something that's super important is just practicing learning how to hang out, right? I mean, like who doesn't want to hang out with their friends? Who doesn't want to learn how to be like a part of this life and everything, and just not have to be put away and stuff like that? So that's really, really important. No. And that's what we have going on. We're gonna be slowly building things up, but for right now, hey, so he was about to break over there for a second. Down. Hey, what's really, really important is just, where was I trained? All over. I didn't go to school for this though. There's really no school, at least at the time that there wasn't, that teaches like working with problem dogs. Like they teach you how to teach like a sit for like a treat and stuff like that. A lot of those schools, and that really wasn't the business that I was like interested in, or it was like purely sport obedience and stuff like that. So yeah, place is an awesome command. Place is super, super valuable. I don't work on place purely for physical position. I work on it more to help with mental state of mind stuff, state of mind conditioning, which really, really helps to teach dogs the ability, or that they have the ability, what's up, Mr. Six, to basically turn up and really get worked up, and also just kind of hang out. Guitar, how are you? So that's pretty much it. So he's learning to kind of just chill, and this is like kind of the end here. 1 week now? What's today? Today's Monday? I think, did he get in on a Monday? Yeah, so today is actually is 1 week. We have 4 weeks left with him, and there's so much more that we have to tackle. The reality is we can't get to that stuff before we teach him all of the basics, right? And right now, one of the most important basics that I need to teach this guy is taking direction from me and from people in general benefits him. So he's got to see how. He's actually in control of this. He's just got to figure that out, right? So we get the brain working, give him a little physical exercise, get him working around other dogs, which he doesn't do good with. I mean, you could teach downstays, but it really, the place really gives him a nice area. And then if you teach place right, it becomes a stress-free area where they prefer going there to just kind of hang out and relax, sort of like my sectional. I have a spot in the sectional where I come home from work, I go there. I'm not stressed when I'm sitting in that area of the sectional. Well, we transition to the e-collar once everything is already known, right? We typically start dogs with prongs just because we can be softer on a prong than the average person can on a harness, on a flat buckle collar, on anything else. We can actually be really, really soft and sensitive while still having a tool that once everything's learned, it has the ability to also match stronger dogs. Like this dog came in, he's been on a Halti before, didn't really do so well. He's been on a Martingale, came in pulling the owner all over the place, and it's really dangerous. So we want to teach a dog to be sensitive. And some people will be like, oh, because you're inflicting pain and this and that. And it's like, the reality is that the way we're using it, it's softer, and it actually is much more gentle and much more humane than some of those other tools. And people will be like, oh, well, have you ever put one on? It's like, I actually have. I do it all the time in my group classes, and anyone who's actually put a Herm Springer on versus like a generic sharp like Petco or something like that, it doesn't hurt at all. In fact, I have people that yank on prong collars. Like we can do that right now real quick. Andrew, come on in here real quick. I know you're eating. Grab me a prong collar. Do we have them here?
Yeah, we got a couple of them.
All right. So I'll show you guys what I mean. And this is like for all the people that, hold this for a second. All the people that are like, oh, you're inflicting pain. It's like BS, man. Like cut it out. Like most of the people that are saying that have never tried one on. Like they see how it looks, and it looks scary. Like I'm gonna be the first one to admit, it looks like something from Game of Thrones, right? But do I have a correction level a few higher? Damn it, I missed that. I didn't get to see that one. Here, why don't you flip me around and you can read those, right? Here's a couple things that are just very, very basic. Now, I don't have the guns to like really show this, but when pressure gets applied, unlike a martingale, because you have so many different contact points, it's almost like laying on a bed of nails. If you see someone at like a carnival or a festival or a circus, anyone can lay on that bed of nails. It's not like magic. It's just there's so many of them that the weight is evenly distributed. So unlike a flat buckle collar or a martingale where you only get this amount of pressure, all the pressure is focused on here versus with the prong collar, it actually contracts, right? So I'm gonna fit this properly on my neck, and then we're gonna have Andrew correct me on it, and then use the pressure. So more often than not, we're not really correcting on prong collars, we're just using it to give direction, right? So I'll show this to you guys here in just a second. Soko, place. Let's see how this fits. It's not the perfect fit. It's a little loose. That's a little too loose, but we'll work with it. Let's see what we have here. This is for all the people because like it's kind of annoying and it's a little upsetting when you know how many dogs you're rehabilitating all the time and actually helping like owners and saving relationships and saving dogs' lives, and then you have people that literally read stuff online or like see stuff online and like all of a sudden like they're an internet pro because they have Siri and they can look something up and they have a keyboard, and it's like these people have like raised one dog in their life and now they're like a pro. It's like listen, like we're helping dogs here, and if you guys weren't so like ignorant and narrow-minded and actually learned about some of these tools, like for example the remote collar, it's getting banned in some countries, and it just shows like that's not a step in the right direction. It shows how ignorant we are in actually being open-minded and saying, holy cow, this could help us. Soko, place. And if anybody that watches our videos and stuff, they see like how gentle and soft we are. Like the thing that's like that boggles my mind is like most of the people that like when you do get critics and stuff are like fresh into training, like just learning how to do it, and they don't realize that when we're using these tools, we're teaching dogs what to do way before we're teaching them what not to do, and it's pretty much a game changer. So it's like everything that we're doing, like you can give me a freaking tomato, I can train a dog with a tomato. I don't need anything else. Like I'm pretty good that way. The problem is when you're teaching clients, they don't work with dogs every day. So it's not easy for them. Just because I can ride a horse bareback doesn't mean if you're coming to my horseback riding school that I'm gonna teach you guys how to do that, because that's really difficult. Why not teach you how to ride a horse with the proper reins and the proper tools? So just because I can drive a car without power steering doesn't mean that it's not gonna make your life easier if you drive a car without power steering, right? So that's basically like what we're doing, and it's just people need to understand that, right? So you can go ahead and you can see it's loose. I can show you right here that I'm tugging away, right? But you can go ahead and get this out of the way. Hold on one sec. Yeah, give me a pop.
This is like what I would give a dog a pop.
Yeah, like
he's like smelling, like pulling me or something.
I'll say like it's not like I don't enjoy it. I mean, there's some women that will enjoy this. I'm sure guys too, and it doesn't hurt. It's not like a comfortable sensation. Like I don't enjoy this. I don't think I'm ever gonna be like, oh, I can't wait the next time like the prong collar's on me. But like I assure you, I'm not traumatized. Like I'm still gonna eat. I'm still like it's all good. Basically what I'm saying, you know what I mean? So the thing that, what's up?
Give you one more, so. Oh, it's already off his neck, you want another one.
The thing that I don't understand, and the thing that I don't understand is like the people that do want to kind of critique, and like critic and stuff that clearly don't know. I can tell by the way they talk. Like I had to ban this kid. He's like a young kid who's like I don't want to say up and coming trainer, but like he's getting into training, and it's like everything that he believed and stuff, I was there, and it's like, wow, like I genuinely want to help him, but like the kid just like has no interest. He's like so set in his ways that it's like me wasting my time to actually try to talk to this kid and explain everything so he could be like, holy cow, and have him develop as a trainer. Like the time that I would waste doing that, I could have helped so many more people that already took the time to watch our videos, to like see the work we were doing, and actually learn like with all the dogs that we're training. So it's not even worth like the time. So that's why a lot of times like someone will share, hey, what's up? We're just talking about certain tools and stuff like that. Like people will share my videos, and like most people are in favor of them when they see it, but every now and then, of course, you're gonna have like the critic that like shares it and like has like a comment, and we can see who shares like videos, and we'll get like personal messages, hey, someone just shared this on like this page, do you want to like defend yourself? And it's like, honestly, like there's really nothing to defend. Like it's there. Anyone that's actually interested can get a hold of me, but most times people have another agenda. So it's like I find that my best I guess method of attack is just showing my work and just showing all the dogs that we're rehabbing and stuff, and all the dogs that are making progress, and all the relationships, human relationships that we're saving, the dogs' lives that we're saving. That's what matters, because at the end of the day, anyone can talk a good talk, but there's a lot of people, like all the people that have the time to really focus more on what other people are doing and criticizing that versus putting out their own stuff. It does make you think. It's like, well, if you have all the time to do this, like what about all the dogs that you're training? You know what I mean? So we're just here kind of training dogs. Yeah, that's that. Plus I'm from New York City, and I'm tough as nails. So like stuff like that, if anything, fuels me. I'm the most competitive guy you'll probably ever come across. Hey, relax. So there's a little bit of whining out of this dog. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. You got to see us working with this guy. Look at that big happy smile and face. Yeah, I was wearing the prong collar, and people were like giving me corrections and stuff like that. So to go further into this, is like by the time we introduced our Mo collar, like the dog is already doing all these things, right? And now we're just introducing a different language to show them, hey, like check this out. Like now you can learn it this way, and now we have that invisible leash, because that's my Bluetooth, right? Just because I can play music down. Just because I can play music with an auxiliary wire from my phone to that Beats player doesn't mean that I don't want to use Bluetooth and not have to use an auxiliary wire. So if I can get off leash, once the dog knows all this stuff, it makes life easier. Like all the stuff that I get to do with my dog, where he was already like an 80% dog or a 90% dog, now is like 100, because I have that just in case. I know that I can give him information even if he's all the way down there. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much it. What else were we getting into? I think that's it. I'll answer a couple more questions that you guys might have, and then we'll go from there. I think I just saw a question. We're actually probably gonna film episode 22 today, and hopefully get it out tomorrow. I don't know, it's hard. We've been super busy here. Look at this guy. Let's see that pants again. Come on. There it is. Shadow programs we do. So the website is www.dctcanine.com. Stands for Dream Come True Canine. And I just answered that, Carlo. We're probably going to be answering those questions today, and then it'll go. We'll get that video uploaded by Wednesday, the latest. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. So on there, you'll see everything that we offer. We offer a 1-week apprentice program, which is $2,500, and then we have the day rate, which we call our shadow, which is $375 a day. I missed that. When a dog is, well, no, we look to do a couple of things, Kato. So like if a dog is dog aggressive, like this dog is dog aggressive, and the owners are facing eviction, right? Because like he's getting into some trouble. We have him around dogs. We just didn't like throw him in there right away. I made sure that he was at least listening to me. On leash and all the things, all the tools that I build were all the languages that I was creating to speak to him. And once he's doing good, like once I can hold a conversation with him through the leash, through my body language, working for food, he's taking food, doing all this stuff. Once I know that he understands what I'm telling him, now I can say, okay, this language that we speak really clearly and I speak to you and understand you can take direction through, now I'm going to challenge it a little and I'm going to start giving you that same direction through, yeah, ask that again, please, through these challenges. So we look to get that concrete first, and then we slowly up the game. Like my first introduction to him, like for dogs, really was when we started walking and just seeing the way he interacts. Like if he's all the way up here and everything, he's not going to be hanging out around dogs. When I see his demeanor and everything is changing, then we're working on that. And there's different ways to get into that, but just being relevant in general is what you need to be doing. All right, Mr. Six, what was that question, buddy? I'm sorry, I missed that. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, guys. And please, like, spread this word. Continue hearting. Like, I only see 2 people hearting right now. Share this. Invite people. The more this stuff gets out, the more we can actually help. Because I really think that the problem with dog training today is that everyone's trying to, like, be this side or that side or one method only or this method only. And it's like, listen, like, the tools aren't the issues. Like any tool can probably be used to be abusive. Any tool can probably be used to be soft with. Yeah, so I'm going to get to that, Kim, in just a second. But it's just understanding that these tools, even though they might be able to be used one way, doesn't mean that that's the only way, right? And that's the problem when you see, like, in other countries right now that, like, certain tools might be banned. It's a damn shame. Because the reality is, like, if certain tools, like, for example, a prong collar and a remote collar, let's just say were, like, banned today in the United States, I'm going to be just fine. Right? The only thing is I know my clients, the ones that have really difficult dogs, are going to struggle. And now you fall victim to like needing to heavily medicate dogs or needing to put down that many dogs, that much more dogs because people can't handle it. They don't have the reins to ride that horse. Working level versus correction level. Okay, so working level versus correction level. I missed that last part again. But basically, by the time we get to a correction level, when we are correcting, we know that the dog already knows what to do and has had success with leash pressure, spatial pressure, like let's say breaking place, for example. I saw that going back on, and they know how to do that, right? So once like the remote collar is already known and everything, now I can start using that to really, because they already are familiar with the sensation, right? So like the way I think of a remote collar is it's my voice. Because if I was deaf, I can still communicate through that. We train a lot of deaf dogs through that too. That becomes my voice because they wouldn't be able to hear it. So before I start yelling at you with my voice, let me make sure you speak the language. Once we know that and they're speaking the language, that's working level, I'm just conversing with you. Then if I need to yell at you, because Mr. Six, I told you already, if we don't leave now, I'm going to be late for work. If we don't leave now, Mr. Six, I got to go. I'm going to get fired. It's kind of merited, you know what I mean? So it's understood. And there's no, you're like, oh, sorry, man, I didn't realize, you know, and I'll actually, it'll be more beneficial to give you that correction at that point than I guess, non-beneficial?
Yeah, I would say it's a matter of understanding versus non-compliant.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's a matter of like understanding versus like non-compliance, right? Yeah, sorry. I had to yell at you, man. I was going to be late for work. So it's stuff like that. And this is the thing. It's like overall what you're really, there's so many different ways to correct, because this is the thing. A correction is based, Kim said, hey, a correction, are you on there? Yeah. Is based on like what is going to this is what a correction is fixing something that is wrong, right? So a correction could be as simple as me saying no. And if a dog understands that, they go back. Sometimes you need more. Like I can tell you growing up as a kid, my parents needed to give me more often. Sometimes saying no wasn't enough. I would be a brat or I would do this. If the dog knows it, I might raise the level, right? And that really depends. Sometimes it's constant pressure slowly rising up. Sometimes it's a high level, a pop to get attention, then back down to call the dog. It really, really depends. Yeah, man, anytime. I appreciate it. Those guys are putting out some great content as well. Okay, so that was the question before. I saw that 10 levels. It really depends. Like I can tell you right now, my dog's corrections, his levels are higher, and I actually will correct my dog harder than I do any other dogs because my dog knows things. So if he's like messing up, it's like, what are you doing? Like cut it out. Like, you know what I mean? So like with other dogs, a lot of them don't know that. Another thing too, if you're dialing up on remotes like too quick and the dog doesn't understand that, higher levels tend to inhibit behaviors and actually stop a dog rather than encourage a dog to do something, unless they know what to do to kind of shut that off. So the goal isn't to like inflict pain, but the goal is to just use that to help what's needed, right? Like if my parents, like I can tell you right now, like you want to teach a dog just like a child good habits, because good habits encourages them to make proper choices without needing to micromanage them. But there are times where like they still need more help. Like I can tell you for sure right now, like my parents instilled good habits in me, but if I didn't want to do my homework, I don't think I enjoyed doing my homework. I also don't think that I enjoyed going to school some days, but when there were days that I didn't want to do it, they had to correct and say, hey, you're doing this, right? So as far as like levels on a correction, for some dogs, a correction level could be 5 higher. It could be 2 higher. For some dogs, it can be a 20. You know what I mean? So it really, really depends. I mean, there's so many kind of things to look at, and no dog is the same. Like my dog's levels when we're working outside and he's not misbehaving, like I might even start him on like a 30 outside, even though he feels like an 8. And I can also come close to like maxing out the collar when we're in work mode, and I tap the collar and he goes, oh, what's up, you're calling me? I didn't realize, because he was just so adrenalized, like doing something else. Meanwhile, there's some dogs that don't pass like level 5. You know what I mean? So no dog is the same, no human's the same. There are fundamentals and stuff that are the same, but dogs have to be pushed. That's why they're here. Humans have to be pushed. I want to see results in the gym. I have to be pushed. I can't stay within my comfort zone. So you just have to know how to do that. Before they're adding weight to whatever bench press I'm doing, they're making sure my form is right. They're making sure they're teaching fundamentals and stuff like that. And I don't think people spend enough time doing that. So in a nutshell, what you're doing with like dog training is you're teaching a dog what to do. You're drilling that. They know how to do it. They're successful at doing that. And then you're proofing it, because at some point a dog is going to test just like a child is going to test. I knew that I needed to listen to my parents, but there were times during my teens where I was a little unruly and I tested the boundaries. And when I messed up, I can assure you my parents let me know. You know what I mean? They didn't ignore it. Like if they find out I was like doing drugs or something, they didn't go, well, we're going to ignore that behavior. Wait till you're not doing drugs and then we're going to reward it, right? So as long as they're teaching the proper thing, when a mistake is made, you want to let that be known. And the consequence, like there has to be some sort of consequence. What's the consequence if I don't go to school? I'll get suspended. And I tell you what, that's not nearly as much of a consequence as like what my parents would give me. They're going to make sure that it's never going to get to that consequence, because that wouldn't happen, right? I mean, there's so many things. Look at all the consequences that we have in life, right? If I speed, I get a speeding ticket. If I eat the red light, I get that. If I don't go to work, I get, I don't get paid. And then the consequences, I don't get rent. So there's consequences that we have in life that are good and bad. And the idea of not teaching a dog that life has consequences, good or bad, and that their choices matter, it just seems really silly to me, So that's my understanding. I mean, that's why we're always with like common sense. Yeah, exactly. Like you're not gonna wait until hey, So he just saw someone in the window here. I'm actually just gonna catch him real quick. Hey, stop. Yeah, like they're not going to wait. I mean, can you imagine how silly that would be? They're like, oh, he's doing drugs, he's doing the wrong thing. We're gonna reward the good. When it finally comes around, we're gonna ignore the bad. Like I could die. You know what I mean? So it's just things like that where if you put a lot of things into human perspective. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm going to give you a lot of money to not do drugs. And then all of a sudden, what do you think I'm going to do? He didn't break place, but there was someone looking out the window, and he was kind of like doing this. So I actually called him off, and I spun her around to get him to focus on me. There's so many things that, like, in theory and on paper sound fantastic, but when you apply it to the real world, it's like, that wouldn't work. And it's the same thing with police officers. Like, when they go to probie school, like, things by the book, yeah, like in the academy, that's going to work. But if you try to do certain things in real life, I can tell you right now, senior officers, police officers are going to like tell that rookie, like, listen, if you're going to try and do that by the book, find another partner, because that's going to get you killed, and I'm not having you jeopardize like me. I've been doing this for 20 years on the streets. I know what works and what doesn't work. So, there's things in life that, like, sometimes, oh, that sounds great on paper, but it's just not practical. So, like, we look for common sense clients, because that's what it is. I mean, there's so many people out there that say this and that about their dogs, but I want someone with common sense, someone that's going to put in the work, someone that knows, okay, yeah, we got to teach these behaviors, someone that doesn't think that understands that corrections are needed, but corrections don't necessarily, like, you don't go out there, correct, and start teaching things. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've got a couple good ones. I was working with, that's the one compliment when I worked with Seinfeld. The first thing he said before we even, like, aside from I'm Jerry, like, we did a couple of like impersonations. He was like, you guys are so good at that, because he had just finished working with Caesar. He's like, you and Caesar. He's like, is that a Latin thing or is that a dog trainer thing? So that was actually pretty funny. No, when I start doing like certain like body language impersonations, he was like, that's pretty spot on. He's like, that's pretty spot on. Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. I could ramble on forever. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It turned into much more than just working Temu, but the last two scopes are pretty rad. Thank you for the hearts. Continue to heart those of you that are watching a replay. Please heart away. Please share away. Please invite. And know that the Periscope session is going to keep coming. All right? Take care, guys.